Wealth, fame, power. Gold Roger, the king of the pirates, attained this and everything else the world had to offer, and his dying words drove countless souls to the seas.
You want my treasure? You can have it. I left everything I gathered together in one place. Now you just have to find it.
All the lies that you told, did you believe in them?
Hey, what's good everybody, it's Desmoxy, and today we are recreating One Piece characters in The Sims 4. But before we get started, let me share just a little bit about One Piece, just in case you somehow managed to never hear about this series before. One Piece is a 1997 animanga series created by Oda Ichiro, and it has over 1,000 episodes and counting, as it's still in production. Let's just get started on making our main character. So our series starts out with our main character, Monkey D. Luffy, setting out on a journey to find the One Piece. And in fact, whoever finds this greatest piece of treasure ever will get the title King of the Pirates. But in order for that to happen, Luffy needs a pirate crew, and that's essentially what One Piece is all about. We come along on the journey as Luffy and his crew, dubbed the Straw Hats, band together and get into some of the craziest shenanigans we've ever seen. By the way, really quickly, before we get into the cast of these characters, the design style that I'll be going for is a combination between pre-time skip, post-time skip, and live action. So for Luffy's body type, we're going to go for skinny but still muscular, just because I think how small he looks is what gets him underestimated a lot. But we all know that that's every competitor's biggest downfall, because Luffy packs a punch. So for live action Luffy, I think the actor is Brazilian. I don't remember if Oda specified if Luffy's supposed to be Brazilian or just Latin American. But the reason why I bring it up is because skin tone, some of the facial features, we're definitely going to be taking from the live action and some Brazilian influence. So I think first off, that strong, determined Luffy brow is going to help make him appear in our sim. You just know Luffy's about to deliver some real damage when those brows furrow. And he does like to yap a lot, but going based off the live action, his lips are actually pretty small. Big mouth, small lips, there's a difference. Skin details, I usually spend a really long time in here. So in skin details, I just added some extra details and Luffy's scars. So for natural lips, here's a little CAS tip. If you didn't know, you can just add whatever lipstick and then lower the opacity so you can still get the color and some details while making it more natural. So I'm adding some pink but chapped lips for Luffy. So this is where I spend the rest of my hours in CAS. So I actually prefer Luffy's spikier anime hairstyle, but his live action curls are still cute, so I think we'll just see what fits this sim best. So this is our first option. It kind of looks like Spikes, I guess. I was just testing this hair with the hat, but doesn't he kind of look like Ace?
What?
Maybe a live action Ace?
What are you talking about, man?
Even I know I'm doing Ace dirty. We are going to keep the hat though because I'm struggling. Guys, I'm struggling so hard right now. If you're new to my channel, then wait. All of you guys are new.
Stupid.
Anyways, if you're new to my channel, let me tell you, sometimes I spend 1, 2, maybe even 3 hours just trying to find the right hair because nothing matches. Okay guys, so for my mental health, we are moving on to clothing. So Luffy has his red vest, and I know it doesn't have any sleeves, but I think this is the closest we're gonna get. I do just want to preface this entire video, I guess, by saying the reason why I'm not getting 1-to-1 CC for these characters. So for example, downloading a One Piece folder that has CC made just for them or photo scan skins of them is because just dressing them up within minutes and then showcasing that, it's just not fun or interesting, and it's just not me. I know I have been complaining if I didn't cut that out, but I actually do like the struggle of having to use what I already have or having to find something that works without it already being something that's exactly identical and already available. Just to me, that's more inspiring and more creative to have to fit the image of the character and try to bring them to life, or at least what I think they would look like in real life, or semi-realistic. So I'm going to try to not download any specific CC for these characters, but if I do, it's because I felt as if the sim was missing something or didn't represent their character. So now that that little spiel is over, for Luffy's pants we are doing these ones from Seasons, and for his shoes we're going to do these EA flip-flops, and this is Luffy's final hairstyle, and these are his traits, but I might change Foodie to Glutton. Hey, it's Desmoxy from the future. So I was thinking that Luffy was not looking cartoonish enough.
Hell no, man.
Yeah, we won't talk about it. Luckily, thank goodness, thank the heavens, I was able to bring him back to the realistic style that we were going for. Finally, for aspiration, I'm gonna go with world famous celebrity because I think that's what would come with being a sorry, I think I just blanked on the whole plot. So yeah, this is Luffy and he's growing on me, I think. If you'd like to see better photos of all of these Sims, stick around until the end. If you want, I'm not forcing you. Next up, we have Rowanoa Zoro, the swordsman of the group. I believe he's also the first person to join the Straw Hats. Can't remember who joined first. I think technically Luffy and Nami had a first encounter, but Zoro was the first official member. Either way, we are starting with Zoro, and I think I'm going to do post-time skip body frame with pre-time skip features. And as we make Zoro, I'm going to talk about One Piece as a community. Now, everyone has their own experiences with the different anime fandoms, but for me, One Piece is one of my favorites. I think a lot of people would agree with that, so let me explain. Also, for the sake of the video, I did add in Zoro's skin details, his scars, and we're using the same skin details as the rest of the cast that I'm making today, just so that everybody looks the same and everybody's in the same style. Now, in terms of One Piece being one of my favorite fandoms, I think just in comparison to the other anime fandoms I'm a part of, there's never anything terrible really going on. Of course, I do keep in mind that that is subjective. What I view as bad might be okay to you and vice versa. And honestly, I think the use of the word community can be subjective too. Like, that depends more on your own involvement. For example, I interact more with the JJK fandom. So for every 25 JJK tweets I see, I only see 1 to 2 One Piece tweets a day. So maybe I'm only seeing one side of things. But honestly, the only few arguments I've seen in the One Piece community have been more applicable to the general anime community, like dub or sub, because it matters so much what somebody else is doing in their own home.
Stop it. Get some help.
I have seen some disagreements about fan art choices, but again, isn't that more general anime? You will always have people who prefer the original and others who don't mind the creativity. But in comparison to other fandoms, and I won't name anymore, and I really do love every anime fandom I'm a part of, but most of those tweets are arguing over ships, or I understand the plot better than you and you're misinterpreting everything. And then One Piece tweets are just power scaling, and if Water 7 dude by Alabaster dude, who's winning? That is so silly. I don't know, in the comments tell me how your experience with One Piece as a fandom has been, but mine has been generally fine. Hey, it is Moxie from the future again. Just like I mentioned in Luffy section, I wasn't getting the same vibe with Zoro with any of the CC I had, so I just tabbed out and got his outfit, bandana, and swords. Please don't think of me as a fraud. Also, I apologize for any audio issues. Okay, that's all, bye. So we're all done with Zoro. Again, it might be odd, but I did his post-time skip more muscular frame with his pre-time skip outfit, and I gave him 2 outfits, one with the bandana and one without. So next up we have Usopp, and if you can't tell the trend by now, for all the characters we'll be making today, I'll just be talking about things related to One Piece. You can already see what I'm doing for each character, so it just makes more sense to have mini discussions instead. So for Usopp, I'm going to talk about diversity. Again, if you're a little bit more active online, then you might have already seen people talking about this. Just to clarify, I'm going to go with a skin tone more accurate to the live action, but I will explain why as we talk about this topic. I hope I don't sound too serious talking about this. I guess since this is my first video, I should clarify. As a gamer, I do plan on talking about topics that are a little bit more difficult. Those are just the gamers that I grew up with. It was completely normal to watch them play a game and then also have deeper commentary going on. But at the same time, I'm an extremely lighthearted person, so I want my channel to be too. So when I do talk about these things, which everyone should be able to talk about normally, it's just going to be a discussion. So back to the matter at hand. So I saw a little bit of a stir. Sorry, that was a weird word to use. Anyway, there was a change to Usopp's skin color in recent episodes after the time skip. And I think in the remake or the redesign, there was also a change. And as the internet does, there's an argument. So I will be honest, the internet is such a funny place. All of the people I've seen bringing it up have just kind of been like, yeah, this sucks. And then I looked this up and there were just a bunch of people who were mad at them for bringing it up, but they're the ones who are writing essays about it. It's a mess, it's a mess. Anyway though, my personal opinion, I kind of do see both sides of the argument, so I guess I'm in the middle. On the one hand, I know know that there was an error with the coloring of the animation and it ended up darker than it was supposed to be. And in the original coloring of the manga, he is a lighter shade. Not to mention, and this did happen to me too, I think a lot of people remember Usopp being a lot darker than he was in the 1999 episodes. So with all of that in mind, I can see why people are defending the change as upholding the original vision for the character, but at the same time, I can also see why people are a little bit put off by it. For me, I always thought that it was a choice by Oda to make Usopp darker. I more so saw the difference in all of their skin tones as a nod to the fact that the Straw Hats are a unique crew. Also, not to mention, all of the pirate crews or villains that we come across in One Piece all have the same aesthetic, or they all wear the same clothes or look alike in some way. So I thought that he was emphasizing the fact that the Straw Hats are so revolutionary because they don't fit the status quo. So again, I think we get into that territory of what I was just talking about in Zoro's section. A lot of people are going to prefer the original version, while others are going to prefer the one from their own creativity. But when you also add in the fact that Oda probably approved the live action crew himself, since he did with Luffy, you could also argue that a darker Usopp is still his vision. So it really just comes down to your personal preference, which is okay in a fiction where it doesn't matter. And hopefully I helped to bridge the gap if you're somebody who didn't know about the original design, or if you just never looked at it from the perspective of what makes the Straw Hats the Straw Hats. And after all of that, I don't think that anything that I just said was controversial, but if it was, I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of just don't really care. I'm sorry, I just like to laugh and have fun. So this is our final Usopp. I know I leaned heavily on the live action design, but I tried to just mix all of his different types, including the skin tones, and I think I like how this one turned out. Next up, we have Nami. So really quickly, the way that I've set things up, because there are so many men in this crew, we're gonna have 3 guys followed by 1 girl, 3 guys, 1 girl. But we will end on a girl, so that'll be fun. No offense to my male viewers, I'm just better at making female sims. Just to keep things even, we're going to be doing pre and post time skip outfits for just the girls. So for Nami, I'm going to use, this one's actually my favorite, the Samantha skin. So if she were real, Nami would be from Sweden, so I'm going to try to include some European features. I'm gonna go heavily based off of her anime design, but also take some inspiration from her live action. So I know Nami's pre-time hair skip. What? I know Nami's pre-time skip. So I know Nami's pre-time skip hair isn't a bob. Side note, but I love the shorter, more boyish hairstyles on female anime characters. But in this instance, it's a little bit harder to match when not getting 1-to-1 CC for it. So I know I'm cutting all of that out. I just spent like 4 hours trying to find 1-to-1 clothes that match this pre-time skip photo of Nami. Anyway, I think I did a good job at matching it the best that I could. We're going to go with this flowy striped shirt and this skirt. Now we are on to Nami's post-time skip outfit. Well, starting with her hair. So for Nami's post-time skip hair, I think I'm going to try these free bangs I have with this ginger hair. Now, I know it's not 1-to-1. Trust me, I tried so hard to make it look good, but I think it is slowly growing on me. So for Nami's section, I didn't really have anything to talk about, and I guess since this is my channel's first official video, I should explain again what you guys should be expecting from me. So again, the gamers and the games that I grew up with, I feel like there was a lot deeper commentary. Nowadays, I think people just kind of repeat what's on the screen in front of you. And it's fine if you like that kind of content. I know sometimes I do, and I probably will end up making that kind of content, but I know for me back in the day, nostalgia, it kind of felt less like watching somebody play a game and more so an actual discussion. So I say all that to say, what you should expect from me and my channel is not repeating what's just on the screen in front of you. That's why instead of talking about how I'm making these sims, I'm talking about One Piece as a series. And my sims are cute. So if you guys wanted videos on how I make my sim,
that's okay. You can keep it.
in my thought process, I would make those, but this video is about One Piece. So for Nami, there wasn't really that much to say. I think it's our last female sim that we'll be making that gets a lot more of the attention when it comes to discussions. But really, I commend Nami on her backstory because hers is just as impressive. So we know that Luffy represents freedom for the characters in a ton of different ways, but I particularly love it for Nami because of everything that she's been through. I feel like I sound too serious again, and I don't want to spoil, so cover your ears. But being born an orphan in war-stricken land your adoptive mother dies, your land gets taken over by fish people, they force you to do a job. I mean, overall, Nami has been through so much. And even though I unconsciously liked her, as I think a lot of people did because she's one of the first characters that we meet, but what she's had to overcome despite being flawed. And side note, One Piece does, I really like how they do trauma and flaws and the interweaving of them. And you know, with Nami, it kind of makes sense that with everything that I listed before, she would become obsessed with money and kind of appear selfish in that regard. Of course, though, we all know Nami, we know her backstory, and we know that that's just a product of what she's been through. Anyway, though, I'm done with the yapping. So for the post-time skip outfit, I don't have any one-to-one bikini top matches, but I do like this top on her. It's kind of like a bikini top with sleeves, and she still looks hot, so I'm not complaining. So this with some flared jeans, heeled sandals, and I think we are done. So after all of that, this is our Nami. Let's move on to the next one. So next up we have Sanji. So for Sanji, we are also going to try to do the post-time skip body with the pre-time skip outfit and features. I don't know, we'll see how we feel, if we want to change anything. So for Sanji's section, we are going to talk about the live action. So if you didn't know, Season 2 dropped last week. I guess you could say I timed this video perfectly, obviously. Oh, and yeah, we are using the same skin details for Sanji. To be honest, I actually haven't seen either season of the live action. So I guess that's my first question. If you've seen it, what do you think about it? And if not, what's holding you back from it? For me, I just have a lot of catching up to do, so I don't want to watch it yet. Also, I'm a little bit scared. Not because I think it'll be bad, but I just think it'll be weird to watch One Piece be so cinematic and more serious. Unless it isn't, but again, I wouldn't know. So if you've seen it, definitely let me know what you think of it and if you like the style of it. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this for Sanji's section is because when I saw that he didn't have his brows, I was so shocked. They are going for a much more realistic style though, so it does make sense. And I think Sanji's brows are a clear sign of that. Me doing a think piece based on Sanji's brows. Side note, I'm having such a hard time finding this hair for him. What is going on? Bruh. But seriously, I think they do give way to what might happen with other characters if they do decide to continue through to the rest of the manga, which would be an incredible feat. Sanji's brows do tell us what they might do with other characters, like Franky's ridiculously tall hair, or even Brooke, as well as some of the other insane One Piece characters and creatures. I don't even know if I explained any of my thoughts right, but anyway, here is Sanji. I have two hairs for him. Neither really matches his animanga design, but it's okay. I think we still have the essence of him here. I might go back and change some things though. Also, if you've seen the live action, let me know what you think. And whether you have or have not, do you think that they'll stop at a certain point? Or do you think they'll just keep going? One Piece is a hit animanga series, so my personal opinion is that they'll do as many arcs as they can, but tell me your opinion. And next up we have Franky. So if you're a One Piece fan, you already know that in order of joining, Franky doesn't come next. But we're doing him now because I kind of just feel like it. Sorry. So I am not fully caught up yet, but if you like One Piece, you already know Water 7, collectively everybody's favorite arc. Matter of fact, Water 7 is your favorite arc's favorite arc. The definition of talking just to talk. Anyway, I'm so there with you guys. Definitely because of the story and not for any other reason. But seriously, Water 7 arc took me a little bit to appreciate, but as soon as I fell in love with Robin, I was hooked. And of course we got the infamous I Want to Live scene. But another person that I love from this arc in this video is Franky. Not only did he have me laughing so damn hard the entire time, on a deeper level, Franky really changed the dynamics of the crew. Just because everybody has their sob story and what makes them who they are, but learning Franky's backstory and then having him join the Straw Hats, things went from just a pirate crew to a found family. I mean, especially when you consider the fact that Franky left his family, his brothers behind to continue with the crew. I like to apply unnecessary symbolism to things, but I feel like that's a symbol that just cannot be ignored. Anyway, this is Franky. I didn't give him his tall hair just because there's no CC for it, and I also don't think it would really fit the vibe of what we're going for. And we discussed a little bit of Water 7, but tell me what your favorite arc is. Mine would be earlier arcs, so Skypiea, ooh, Chopper's Island. Okay, we're on to the next sim. Okay, so this is going to be my most difficult one. So for Chopper, I don't want to make him an actual animal. I have an idea based on the CC I downloaded, but just just let me cook. So I'm going to try to go for a hybrid, so I'll make him a human but add animalistic features, if that makes sense. You're confused? Well buddy, so am I. I don't want to go too cartoony because I want him to fit in with the others at the end photos, so I guess we'll go for something like this. So right now I'm just darkening up his lips, sort of like a reindeer would look like. I'm also adding some blush to his nose to darken that up and give us a deer-like triangle. So the idea is this: we're using this CC hat for the full chopper look, and it's good because we also get the horns and hopefully no clipping. Okay, so I did find this outfit that Chopper's worn, and I do have that exact shirt and those pants. For his hooves, I think we'll just do black suit shoes. I also have some skin details that'll darken the hands in a gradient. We can also add some body hair like an animal would have, because, well. So this is our final Chopper. I know he looks a little strange, but he's kind of cute. He does look a little deerish, and I think he'll grow on me. Last but certainly not least, we have my personal favorite character, and she seems to be everybody else's too. It's Robin. I am exactly like Nami when it comes to Robin. That is my girl. So we're going to give Robin her pre-time skip and post-time skip outfit. But if you know this series, you'll know that Robin's change in design is a pretty big thing, and for good reason too. She went from looking one way to looking another, and I couldn't even identify her as her for a long time. I'm not even joking. When I saw post-time skip posts, I had no clue who she was. But let me share how I feel about it. We're on to hair now, but I really loved pre-time skip Robin, and I still really do. That's the original design that I fell in love with. Oh my gosh, I hope these bangs cover this. They do, but they don't match. Oh my gosh. Anyway, even as all Sunday, she just seemed so wise, and you can just tell that she had been through a lot, but there was like a mysterious aura around her. Now I have too many hair options. But with post-time skip, I just feel as if her design's a little less unique. I also did love the short hair on her, but I'm not mad at the change because Robin still looks really happy. Again, I'm not fully caught up, but I've seen little clips and stuff, and she's still the same Robin as before. She looks a little different, but she's still the same on the inside. She's still kind, smart, mature from her experiences, and she's still hot. No, but seriously, I don't know if I'm cutting any of that out, but just in case, I am doing her outfit from Thriller Arc Bark. Wait, it is definitely not that. I meant to say Thriller Bark Arc, but seriously, post-time skip Robin looks different, but based on what I've seen, is still the same. So now we are on to her post-time skip design, and I think I'm gonna make her skin tone lighter just to match how she currently looks in the anime. And as I was saying, she still looks gorgeous. Okay, I think I like this hair more, just because we need the strands at the side. Taking a break from the hair to find the glasses, I think these might actually be perfect. She's so pretty, oh my gosh. And this is Robin's post-time skip outfit. I wanted the same low-cut top she wears, which is why I went with this one, but I do have one in the same blue that she wears, so take your pick. And this is her final design up close. She is so darn pretty. And that will wrap it up for this One Piece cast. The last minute is just different pictures of them all together. I like to imagine they stopped at an island to chill and just ended up taking photos. I know I had my little nitpicks and comments about things not being one-to-one, but overall I do love their design, especially all together. But let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below about some of the things that we talked about in this video, and let me know how you feel about the final Sims. I guess I should also tell you to like and subscribe, but only if you want to, it's all good. I'm just happy that I got to show my love and appreciation for one of the greatest animanga series of all time in my own special way. But I'm not just a One Piece fan, so I do have a full list of other series characters I'll be creating, but let me know which series you'd like to see me recreate characters from. Anyway, this was a whole lot of fun. That's all I have for you today. Fly high, my dragons, and I'll see you in the next one. Moxie out!